Hi, this is Flammarius
This is Ovfrost.
of the Russian death funeral doom band Bewailer, and you're listening to The Bloodshed with the Vampire Metal Messiah Radio.
Flammarius and Ovfrost, thank you very much for taking time out for this interview. It's a pleasure to have you guys here for the Metal Bloodshed with the Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Okay, guys, you're very welcome. Bewailer is a doom death metal project that has been formed by two university friends. Russia, the world's largest nation, borders European and Asian countries, as well as the Pacific and Arctic Oceans. Its landscape range from tundra to the forest, subtropical beaches. It's famous for Moscow's Bolshoi and St. Petersburg Mariinsky ballet companies, and it's also famous for Smirnoff vodka that I love so much, but Russia is also famous for its metal scene. How do you see the Russian underground scene nowadays, guys?
Actually, it depends on if we speak about black metal or death metal, doom metal. So basically, I can say as far as I know, black metal is really quite popular in our country, and we really have some very nice bands. And we have some strong underground scene in Moscow, in Siberian region, in Karelia, in Petrozavodsk and other cities. So yeah. What about death doom metal? I cannot say that that's the most popular genre actually nowadays, but still there are several bands playing, and we're glad to be the part of the community, the part of the underground scene. So I think we have quite a strong underground scene, I would say.
Yeah, if you heard of our band, Who Dies in Siberian Slush, it's a badass band.
Guys, for all the fans and friends, to get you know much better, Flammarius, besides being in Bewailer, are you part of another band as well?
I'm just with Bewailer. I'm not part of some other bands, but Ovfrost, I think he can say something about his.
Ovfrost, you have a one-man band, an atmospheric melodic black metal project, Malice, from Moscow, which brought us its debut album in the Catacombs of Time, with killer tunes like, Violated by Nothingness, Spiritual Oppressions, Uniformity, to say some. Yes, this album was released in the end of 2019 via the German label Northern Silence Production, new to the scene. Malice, the mastermind Ovfrost, decided to dig deep into the shadows of the past and present and open to the door of all the ghosts living in these catacombs of times, and created this conceptual karst realm album. Ovfrost, tell us more about your initial plans when forming this project, about your debut album in the catacombs of time, please.
So yes, as you have mentioned, it's a conceptual album. Karst Realm is basically a kingdom that I made up, and I made up some landscapes, made up some characters, but it's all in my lyrics basically. And if you really want to delve, you can dig deep into the lyrics and you can find out more about it.
Go back to what we hear all for. Bewailer was officially formed in Moscow in 2018 by you guys, although there had been quite a long way leading to it. The first draft appeared in 2015 and varied a lot in genre, concept, and structures. Later on, by the end of 2018, a decision had been made to choose doom death with a touch of funeral doom as the main direction in music, although some black metal influences from earlier time still remain. How did you guys decide to form the Bewailer? Where did you keep with the band name from? And who is doing what in the band? I mean, what are you guys two playing? Who's singing?
Yeah, as you have already mentioned, we started in 2015. Actually, I just asked Ovfrost if he didn't mind playing with me together in one band, because at our university, not a lot of people were big fans of dark music, of heavy music, actually, and I just wanted to find someone to play with in one band, and that's how actually the project started. Yeah, we wrote different drafts. Basically, it was black metal mainly, but then we decided that we had just a little bit different views on what to call music, and then Ovfrost started his own project, but we remained as one band, and we started to play death doom metal. Actually, speaking about what each of us is doing in the band, I'm basically writing the lyrics, and we together with Ovfrost, we create the music. So we write it, we create different drafts, and then we send it to each other, then we correct them, we edit them, and then send back to each other. And that's how actually the music is created. What about the actual instrumental recording? I can say that Ovfrost is doing that in his home studio. And that's how the first album, Where My Demise Dwells, was recorded, actually.
Okay, guys, how about the name Bewailer? What's the meaning of?
This name was created by Ovfrost, so maybe he can share some opinion about that, because maybe he has some story behind it, maybe not.
Yeah, I always thought that doom metal music, the heavier side of it, it has to do with the emotions that we experience. And so one of those emotions is sadness. This music, with all its brutal roots and the heaviness, it always makes me sad, and always it casts some brooding mood on me. And it's really about this atmosphere of being all in on yourself, and maybe you're bewailing someone, maybe you're crying over someone. It all comes from this emotion. So, and the other criteria was that I really don't like lengthy band names. So I just came up with this one-word band name that would create the atmosphere that we really want to create. So this is how it goes.
Okay, Frost, thank you very much for describing band name. But in the meantime, Bewailer stands as a dual project for time being. Yes, the two of you performing everything. But my question is, are you guys planning adding more members to this project and make it a complete lineup band?
Currently, there aren't any of such plans, but in the future, why not? I think everything is possible.
We'll be able to see a complete lineup. I even see you guys doing shows.
You do full lineup when you need to do live shows. We just don't feel the need to do these right now. We would love to do these, but realistically speaking, it depends if we have free time, if we have the resources, if we have the gear needed. We don't have many of these things, and certainly we don't have the time. So
yeah, that's true.
We have to work shifts, and we have full-time jobs, some of us. So realistically speaking, it's not possible right now.
Hope you guys can make it possible anytime soon. Okay, Where My Demise Dwells, released on November 8, 2019, the day before yesterday, via the Russians of Solitude production. A strong album with awesome tracks from the very start, like Thorngates, Moonspires, and An Old Remembrance. Guys, you have just released your debut album the day before yesterday. I must say, what a great debut. If you don't mind, present the album to us and our audience, please.
Alright, so basically the album consists of 7 tracks. So those are Thorngates, Endless Fall, Moonspires, An Old Remembrance, Silent Passenger, Nocturnal Sacrifice, and Silver Lining. So the album, all those tracks, it may seem that they don't have any concept behind them, but actually they do, because you can really see it from the lyrics. The album itself depicts and illustrates the way of soul in its own darkness, and how people actually survive in their own thoughts, and how do they actually torture themselves sometimes with those thoughts. But still, the last track, the very last one, purely stylistically, it is much closer to post-metal, even to post-rock maybe, because the last track depicts that sometimes the small shadow of hope comes to that tortured soul, and no one knows actually what will happen after that. Maybe it is a way straight to the end, or maybe it is just a light in the end of this dark path. So that's the very brief explanation of the whole concept of the album.
Flammarius, I want to thank you for explaining the album, for presenting us, describing our album Tracklist, and I want to also thank you for sending me the promotional package for this fantastic album. Winter Days of 2018 saw the first melodies, what then became Where My Demise Dwells. In summer 2019, the recording was finished. The music and lyrics are results of inner concerts, struggles, dreams, and fears of its creators. The understanding that genuine emotion, beauty, love, and inspiration are combined with suffering and disillusions. Where My Demise Dwells, an album by the Moscow duo Bewailer, contains 7 pieces for several of human soul within the depth of its own darkness. How was the time span in the making of this album gone? Please share with us.
On my part, I started writing the first drafts in October 2018, but frankly speaking, there had been several drafts beforehand, because the track, which is called Silent Passenger, was written by Ovfrost, if I'm not mistaken, in 2016 even, maybe, or 2017.
Around last.
Yeah. So we have already had this one, and I started writing more stuff in October or November 2018. And actually after that, following our usual concept of writing music, we finished it by March, April 2019, and then our sound engineer started to do his job, and actually we completed the whole album by June, I suppose. And then we signed the contract with Solitude Productions, and then it was a full go for the album.
Yeah, for me, the newest track that I wrote was Thorngates, the first track that you can listen to when you play the album. It was the freshest one, and it was really all about the classic death doom riffs and atmosphere. And Silent Passenger have been mentioned. It's a old track, so I just changed it up a bit, so to freshen the drum parts. So it's just, basically made it to the album in its most refined state. The last one that I wrote was the last track on the album, Silver Lining, and it's based off of a very old track that I worked around to fit into the album. Created some parts here and there, adjusted something to make it more doom-like and stuff. So, I just made basically 3 tracks for the album. The rest was done by Flammarius.
Thank you very much, guys.
joys of life. I enter the ranks of those who find comfort in somber yet graceful spires of moonlight.
Continue with this interview. Moscow, Russia-based death doom metal warriors Bewailer streamed via Bandcamp 2 tracks, Thorngates and Endless Fall, and released officially on October 27 the track An Old Remembrance. Since the album has already been released, are you still planning in doing a lyric or film video for any of these 7 tracks on the album?
Actually, we currently do not have such plans, but the idea about uploading the lyric video, maybe it is a good idea just to promote our music. But what about filming something? We do not have any plans to do that, but the lyric video, yeah, that's quite a good idea.
If we have some budget to spare, why not rolling some lyrical video a few months after the release? It's a good idea.
Last July 22nd, the band has made this announcement. We proudly announce that Bewailer is now signed with the Russian label Solitude Production, one of the most prominent labels on the doom metal scene. Was this gone easy? I mean, you had a long discussion with the label before the agreement, and did you talk to other labels as well?
Actually, we planned to do that initially, to sign the contract with Solitude Production, so it was basically our initial aim, and we discussed that, and we decided to sign our music to Solitude Productions, and if we fail, only under those circumstances to send it further on to other labels, but we didn't have to do that because the guys on the Solitude Productions were quite friendly to us, and actually the decision was made quite quickly.
Is everything running smooth the way it should? Yeah, it's too early maybe to say after the weekend that the album has been released. How do you see things running with what's the label concern?
I personally do not know the concerns from the side of the label, but from my personal point of view, from what I see, for example, on YouTube, out of the comments that people are constantly making, I can say that album is mostly positively nowadays.
Yeah, it's a lot of favorable comments. It's always good to read those.
Yeah. I mean, especially the first week that the album has been released. I mean, you get a lot of comments. Yeah, I listened to the whole album, which I really believe was spectacular. They say it's a very great album, and I'm hoping that people will like it, and most importantly, they support the band.
Thank you very much. It's our first effort in this genre, so it means a lot to us if people really like it. So we certainly have a long way ahead of us. So
yes, one of the tools that you need in the success of an album is for sure the artwork. I'm talking about artwork. I mean, I'm talking about now for both projects. They both are very impressive. I'm talking about Malleus with the artwork for In the Catacombs of Time, and now Bewailer for Where My Demise Dwells. Please tell us a little bit about these cover artworks and who has done them.
So basically, we decided that the cover art, that we will take it from classical painters, either American or European. So basically what you can see on the current cover art, that's a canvas of one of the German painters of the end of the 19th century. His name in Germany is Heinrich Gogarten. And actually all the other arts which are there in the jewel case CDs which you can find there, all of them are also the works of European and American classical painters. And our logo was created by an artist from the Czech Republic, from Moonroot. So actually I also want to say thanks to him.
Yeah, Moonroot Art is quite a known artist. He's amazing, so thanks to him.
So that's the same case for the cover artwork for Malice?
Same goes for the logo for Malice. It was two done by Moonroot. Again, he done an amazing job with all of the specs that I sent to him. He made exactly what I wanted, so looks amazing, I think. About the art, so really I had a concept in my head. When Northern Silence picked me up, my initial artwork was done pretty amateurly, so I really didn't think that my music would blow up, and I sent it to a not very experienced painter. So he made a more like a demo artwork. It was painted by a pencil. It was black and white, and it's your classical black metal demo artwork. So then the label said, why can't we just buy some rights to use this artwork? We found one amazing artist from Curiously. He's from Russia too. His name is Artem Demura. So Artem makes these glorious fantasy arts, and his landscapes are amazing too. And he had this picture in his art library. We found it. We contacted him. He was glad to sell us the rights to use it. So fits perfectly for the album, I think. It's the underground realm, the gates to this underground realm. And if you look at the whole picture, you can see a man wielding a torch at the right down corner, I believe. And so this man is the lyrical hero of the album. Like the guy painted it beforehand, knowing my concept. So yeah, fits perfectly. And next time, I'm working on an album right now. Already done another painting, this time exclusively for me. And yeah, it's gonna be I think something amazing. Can't wait to share it.
Ovfrost, for you as well, what are your plans with Malice? Are you planning for it to remain a one-man band?
Thinking about this, and I've come to a conclusion that I really would like to have a personal space in music, to have a personal space in my creativity. And so this project, I think, will remain one-man project, so I could share everything that I have in mind. It's always good with other people because you can receive some critical points, some opinion on your work, but also you can feel a little bit restrained by this. You feel obliged to follow these guidelines from other people, and with your own project, you can go nuts, basically. I think it's going to remain my personal project for now.
Okay, guys, Bewailer is a death doom metal band incorporating influences of black metal and funeral doom. The music and lyrics are results of inner concerts, struggle, dreamings, and fear creators. The understanding that a genuine emotion, beauty, love, inspiration, and combined with suffering, as we said, delusions. Musically, this album, Where My Demise Dwells, combines traditional death doom melodies and vocal techniques with a dismal atmosphere of the bottomless gloom, more common for the funeral doom subgenre. Besides the usual rhythm, bass, and lead guitars and drums, one may expect a steady use of piano, synth pad, and acoustic guitar. The vocal techniques include shrieks and low-pitched growls with some addition of female clean vocals. Some of the events that inspired Bewailer are Saturnus, My Dying Bride, Morning Beloved, Evoken, Void Haven, and DeLorean. My last question, guys, in how many format will the album be available, and what about merchandises?
Currently, the album is available in the form of the jewel case CD package, and actually our listeners are able to buy it on our Bandcamp website, on our Bandcamp page. For sure, it's also available as the digital album, and basically that's it.
Labels they don't usually do lots of merch when the band is new. They really want to kind of try it, see how the sales go, how the band does before producing more merch. So right now we just have the CD and we'll see how it sells. It all depends on the income of the label, I think.
So if the sales goes good, we might expect T-shirts, perhaps?
Yeah, totally. It will depend on the sales, and it will depend if we get recognition and if people would actually buy those shirts. It's always good that hardcore fans that always buy merch and shirts and vinyls and you name it. Not enough to cover all the costs. Gotta make some more people to buy this stuff.
Yes, with the words we spreading around, I'm sure you guys gonna have T-shirt available.
Yeah, I hope we will.
Okay, guys, Flammarius and Ovfrost, I want to thank you very much once again to have this interview possible, and I want to hand you over the microphone of Metal Messiah Radio for you to invite all your friends and all your fans to support the band to buy your debut full-length album, Where My Demise Dwells, and also to support the band Malleus for its debut full-length in the Catacombs of Time. And yes, to go get merchandises as soon as the band have them available. The microphone is all yours, guys.
So basically, thank you very much for inviting us and for having this interview with us. Basically, yeah, guys, listeners of the Metal Messiah Radio, thank you for listening to us. And if you want to get a CD, a jewel case CD package, please be free to visit our Bandcamp page. So it's bewailer.bandcamp.com and buy our CDs. And also you're able to find us on such platforms as Spotify. Our album, the full album version, is available on the YouTube. So basically, thank you very much for listening to us.
Yeah, thanks, Metal Messiah. Keep listening to sincere music.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. And like I always say, metal on. Bye-bye.
Metal on. Bye-bye.
Metal on. Bye-bye.